Also, I need to do that. All right, we are here to experience some neuroaffective somatics, also known as cultivating post-traumatic growth. The rule of the game, okay, the only rule is you have to breathe. Beyond that, I would love it if your experience of breathing was somewhat easy. Like if it starts to feel too activating or too hot, or like an emotion comes up that you're really not wanting to be with, the thing to do is change, do something else. For today, you will need a chair that is not going to move with you on it, and the floor. We will not go more than an hour. I doubt this will be an hour. I want to go into breathing and we'll do the 6 healing sounds. And then a couple of the postures from the Neuroaffective Somatics book, so you can start learning them practically. And I have just a little bit of what's the word? Put in case somebody comes late. I have words. Don't know what they are all the time because I had a stroke, but all right, let me get going. Hold on. Okay. So if you would like to join me on a chair that is not going to move, okay? Your swivel chair can work if that's what you have today. Ideally, I'm on a folding chair. You could be on a bench. You could be on your couch. You could be on a living room chair. You could even be sitting on a tuffet on the floor. But the ideal situation is going to be one where you can like genuinely feel solid enough underneath you that as you just start coming into some easy breaths in through your nose and out of your mouth, the exhales, just let your body soften a little bit onto the surface. It's called sense of bum. And the breathing in through the nose and out of the mouth is a way to begin to be the conductor of your breath and have your breath be supporting you, which is a little bit different than regulating and controlling. So breath is a wave, we are in the wave, but we can also adjust the wave. So as we start to go into these healing sounds, the experience of space on the inside is often that of expanding and contracting. So we get this very literally with our lungs. But we also get this with tightness when we're freaked out or being frozen and not feeling like a freedom of mobility in our tissues. This spatial experience is how Taoist cosmology contemplates energy in the body. It is a location that expands and contracts. It's very different than a chakra that's going to go around and around and around and around. This gives room for the chakra. Think about your chakras as like the cool pinwheel plants that would be in this soil of your breath. And if you have music in your environment that you'd like to turn on, please do. We're going to start with the healing smile. And so to do the healing smile, come to your sense of bum. That means you're on a surface and aware that you're on a surface. You might close your eyes, and once you find inside or on, whichever feels better for you today, whichever is more appropriate, bring a gentle smile to your lips, like a little Mona Lisa smile, just a little, so that you lift the tissue here in your cheeks. And for a lot of us, that's going to start to bring saliva forward. I'd like you to contemplate directing your tissue, or pardon me, your smile first to your belly. And we'll hold this here so you have a sense of that. Just to get on the inside a little bit with the attention before we go into lymph and stuff. This is the hara. This is the seat of soma. This is the energy center that connects us to the planet. Just send in a smile. This would be the Jade Emperor. This is like dragon magic down here. Sleeping nice, happy, friendly, not the magic dragon. We're going to go up to the heart. Send your heart space, your heart center some love. Just like you would send a child or maybe like a wounded animal. How we're just so immediately empathetic and compassionate and kind. And send that to your own tissues, your own body. All the way up to the head, to the middle of the brain. It's called the Crystal Palace. Imagine this as a teeny tiny little Merkaba, and it's like right in the center of your brain, perfectly centered, helping to create a connection between the fluidity of the brain, the magnetism of the universe, the gravity that you're on. The Chinese call the brain the seat of marrow. Bone marrow is where we get our blood cells. And moving into the healing sounds, we're going to do 3 rounds of each. They're always in the same order, and if you have any of my free stuff, you already have it. So bringing your fingers towards each other and your palms facing up. You don't have to do the movement with me, but I will be showing you that. So first is the lungs. So you're going to smile to your lungs on the inside, and it's like an exchange of gas or an exchange rate. We're going to gather, courage, guide, grief, and make an S sound. So gather in courage on the inhale. Bring your hands towards eye level. They go up. Exhale, S. So now let's go with the griefs. Gathering courage. Guiding grief with S. Do 3 more. Inhale, courage. Guide grief. Courage on the inhale. Grief on the exhale. Come to a breath. Next is to the kidneys. That's the paired experience of shock and calm. We're going to round the low back, making a chew sound. So gather, calm. This is water. Guide, shock. Calm on the inhale. Guide, shock with the exhale. Inhale for calm. Guide the shock. Inhale. Choose some. In the center. Take your breaths. If you do something different or get lost, you can just come back. As long as you're breathing, you're gold. Next is the liver. It's on your right side, the same side as a passenger would go in a car in the US. So bring your arms over your head. The sound is shush. It's anger and forgiveness. Inhale to forgive. Shush. Shh. Just letting go of anger. Shh. Inhale to forgive. If your arms don't like doing this, you can just sway your body. Exhale. Shh. This is wood. Inhale, forgiveness. Exhale, anger. Shh. Good for the liver and the gallbladder. A couple more. Inhale, forgiveness. Exhale, anger. Shh. One more. Shh. Come on back up. And down. Take a breath in and out. The heart is next. This is fire, love, and hate. The sound is ha. We're just going to go in the other direction. So arms over your head, interlace your fingers, reach up. This is gathering love. Guiding hate. Inhale love. So if you're noticing, the organ that we're working is the one that's stretching on the exhale. The Chinese are very clever with that. Inhale love. Guide hate with ha. One more love on the inhale. Hate on the exhale. Back into center. Arms come down. Take a breath in and out. The last organ is the spleen. It's across from the liver. This is how we get our inner sense of equilibrium in the abdomen. Spleen has a lot to do with the experience of lymph in the body. And so without a lot of force, just a tiny little bit of pressure, just a tiny, tiny bit. The sound is who, W-H-O, whoa, 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 whoa. Gathering trust on the inhale. Guiding worry. This is your breath for overthinking and rumination. Inhale, trust. You might know it as faith. Guide worry. Couple more. Inhale. And last time. Gather trust. Guide worry. back into center. For today, I'm going to guide the last breath and then just a little bit of a rest on the floor. If you don't want to be on the floor, you're going to get really comfy, cozy where you are. This shape is called constructive rest position. I find it to be one of the most useful shapes of human body, particularly having to do with like hypervigilance, back pain, like all kinds of stuff. And the reason for that is, you'll see as I lie down here, I'm just going to give my head a little bit of support. When I learned this, it was recommended to me to use about an inch thick book. So you just need a little bit for the occiput of the head. So if you lie down and you find hello pots, you might feel a little bit dizzy if you have soft tissue like I do. So we're gonna first come to the ground. This sound, the last sound is he, H-E. And the he sound is for the inner child. So there's nothing to do but just like it's a quiet, quiet H-E. And after a bit of that, you just find your way into some form of stillness-ish. There's no obligation to become a statue here. And just find a place where you can feel your feet on the ground. I like to sort of tuck my shoulder blades under, and sometimes I'll even give the back of my neck just a tiny little bit of help so that my nose is pointing up more than my chin, right? I rarely have the patience, and after about 10, 15, sometimes it can take 20 minutes in this shape, the psoas muscle that connects your hip flexors to your spine, it's a very, very deep muscle in the abdomen, that will start to relax. And for a lot of us, that's going to bring a bigger freedom of movement and experience of that inner space as available. Because this is also what gets tight when we contract from stress and like I slept in a full-on fetal position last night. I was having nightmares last night. So this is a nice thing for me right now. Just letting my body experience gravity. And so we can go back into the sense of here with feet on the ground, hips, your shoulders, the back of your head. And especially for my hypervigilant friends, notice how everything is in front of you. Behind you is above you, kind of, right? So if your door is open, somebody might maybe walk by. And for the most part, you can perceive a lot of what's going on around you. And now maybe your back can have an experience of ground and solid, because this, believe it or not, the back line is the masculine line. This is the governing line. This is the line, the channel of the sea of yang, how we experience governance, how we can respond through compassion and curiosity. And you might, if you'd like, turn your chin to one side and tuck it towards your shoulder. That's going to bring some stretching response on the other side of your neck. Relaxing your jaw. I think one of the most ironic things about yin-leaning practices is sometimes the relaxation takes effort. And then if you, like me, have a penchant for the patience that is not patience, there's an opportunity to experience some frustration, as long as it's not like sending you into a tailspin. Yesterday, this would have sent me into a tailspin. And keeping your head nice and heavy, bring it back in towards the center. The first thing I want you to do is use your hands to help bring your head so that your neck is back in alignment with your spine. And then we're going to go to the other side. And let's take some rest here. And the breath now is the breath that works for you. Fast or slow, deep or shallow, it's all good. Something different with your legs. You might bring your knees in towards each other. That'll give you a stronger sense of ground sometimes. You're welcome to bring your feet together and let your knees open. My hypermobile babies, my hypermobile bodies, my hypermobiles, we are going to be aware of stuff like that, though, especially when resting. Let me know. Kind of like following this over onto your belly into a shape called Sphinx, which is bringing yourself up on your forearms. So if this is aggravating for your elbows, for your arms, you can put a bolster or some pillows underneath you. The idea is to relax your legs. And even with your head and your neck, bringing your chin up like this might feel a little bit different than just sort of having it here. Here is going to be less torque on your neck than this. Sphinx, by the way, of course, yes, it comes from Egypt. This is a nice way to experience a little bit of the back bend that will open that front of your spine, okay? So there's a weirdness with the shapes in the body. Generally speaking, whichever way the body is moving towards, that opposite side of us is getting a stretch. And again, this is just a way to be kind and mindful to your low spine, low back, in a way that gives you enough sensation that you're having an experience and not so much sensation that you're having to manage your experience. So that might mean you're on your belly right now, and that's perfectly fine. From here, invite you into your hands and knees. This is called tabletop. Very handy shape. And we're going to do some movement here to articulate the spine. Very, very fancy. Please don't worry about breathing with your movement quite yet. Just kind of let your belly drop and your chin lift. And what I'm doing here is feeling for a stretch on the front line of the body. If this is too much for your hands, you can make fists and come up onto your knuckles. Oh, is that door like a little baby? Okay, and then this is the other way. Tuck your chin in. This is dark. Tuck your chin in. So now we can start to move, and this is where you can be as fluid. You can move around in circles. Let the flesh fly. That is, just let it be. And by flesh flying, I'm talking about your belly. Just a little relax. It's okay. It does so much for us. Taking this in kind of like a fluid direction can be a lovely way, again, to just like get a little bit more awareness, a little bit more movement, a little bit more hello, body. If it's feeling okay on your joints, your knees, why don't you go ahead and press back into child's pose. You can reach your arms in front of you like big, 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 strong. You can also kind of just like make a pillow. I don't like a pillow today. And letting your belly hang in between your thighs. I know this is not going to be available for everybody. And these sessions, these weekly sessions, some of them will be standing, some will be on the floor. I want you to have the rounded experience of the somatics. If you thread the needle, which is to come back into tabletop. Bring one of your hands right in front of your nose on the ground. Reach your other arm up. Oh, big stretch. Now thread it through. If this is painful, if this is going to cause trauma and suffering, we're not going to do it, okay? I often get dystonia when I do this because of my mastectomy. Dystonia is when your muscles move all on their own without you asking them. It's a very interesting experience. So just do what you can. My weight, though, is I am not holding my weight on my head. It's on my shoulder. Frozen shoulders, this might not feel good either, right? So maybe you do less. You do different. Go to center. Then this hand is going to come in front of your nose. This hand comes up. Oh my goodness. Aren't you glad we don't have like 8 legs? Yay. And 2. I am all for having gravity be a major part in supporting the body so that it can relax into a shape. There's also ways to make shapes with the body where we're operating like more as like an antagonist to gravity, like jumping and oscillations and stuff. of this. Oh, sweet love. Do you want to help me do some hips? Let's do some hips. Let's have a seat. This is like a seesaw side to side for your legs. You rest on your hands. You could also rest your back on a wall if that's better. Feet in front. And this is not painful. No, no. If your knees don't do this, then maybe you're just like here. Okay, you could also be lying down. Oh, yes, ma'am. You want to do some? We're gonna do a little bit of a hippity dip do, a little bit of a hip. I am gonna show it to you leaning on the wall, just so you can see. So it's just to cross an ankle over a thigh. If that doesn't work, cross an ankle over an ankle. Cross an ankle by lying it on the ground. The idea is that you're getting an opening on the hip more than you're forcing your body into a pretzel shape. So if it works on the wall, then you don't even have to hold yourself up. Keeping this foot flexed is going to keep this knee generally high. Darla approved. This is a variation of a shape that is often translated as pigeon, sometimes sleeping swan. Hi. Adductors, the external rotation. It just started raining where I live, and the humidity must have gone up about 5% in the last several minutes. Oh, Miss Man, it just got steamy. You can see this is often just an experience of existing. Let's switch sides. In private sessions, and if I know like what's going on with your body, we might hold this longer, we might hold it different. And I'm very much not into asking strangers on the internet to hold shapes for like 5 minutes at a time if I don't know that that is going to end in a net positive for you. So all the sensation that you're feeling is traveling through this massive network, the extracellular matrix of connective tissue of fascia. Surrounds your organs, it holds your skeleton up, it is what gives us the experience of lift and space inside. And when we're working with the Shen, the magical mysticals, the entities that do the labor of Chinese medicine, those are their highways, or fascia. Close today with just a few moments in a comfortable seat. So if you need to get back up on a chair, please do that. If comfortable seat means lying down, that's where I would love you to be. If you are sitting up, can you find that sense of again? From the sits bones towards the ground. And maybe just a little tiny little sway in the spine. It's almost like your ribs are guiding and your skull is following. Notice though that I'm not whipping anything. I'm not doing big movement with the head. So the next time your head is towards the right, I invite you to extend your left arm out. Thank you for biting me, Darla. That was very kind of you. Please do not bite my mastectomy. Do not bite. She knows right where my nerve was severed during my mastectomy. She will bite it. This is just another moment for your neck. And letting the weight of your head create the sensation of stretch. The way to come out of this so that your neck, your head can stay nice and relaxed is to use your hand to lift your head back up. That was my arm that had the surgery. That was very rude. Let's go to the other side. The neck here in the inner landscape is connected to a concept called the 12-story pagoda. Think of it like your 12 cranial nerves, and then the ones that leave the neck. So one of those is the vagus nerve, just one of them. And if the environment of vagus is conducive to nervous system resonance, the vagus nerve itself might get confused into thinking it's safer. That can be a wonderful way to start to guide growth. Kind of like when you put a plant somewhere where the light is optimal. When the hand comes to the cheek, bring the head up. Take a couple of breaths into your nose and out of your mouth. Inhale through your nose and out of your mouth. One more. Inhale through your nose, out of your mouth. Thank you for being here today for Tuesday Somatics. Tomorrow is Alchemy of Arousal. We'll be going a little bit more deeply, a little bit more into that tantra. I'll see you later. Bye.